All right, everybody, it is 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to everybody here in America.
Totally random, totally interrupting,
Yeah.
I apologize, but someone asked for a shout out, they paid Jason for a shout out, like on the way here earlier or somewhere. Immediately off the top of his head, Jason knew that the United States was formed 242 years ago.
Yes.
Like, in the middle of the shout out, he thought of this. He's like, happy 4th of July, happy, like...
242 years.
Is he right? Is that accurate?
Yes, 1776. People often think it's 1777, but it's 1776.
Yep.
It's like...
But he still does hammer curls with one arm. Go figure.
Oh man, and see, I gave him the option and we didn't do hammer curls.
You guys did a workout video today, right?
Yeah, we did.
So anyway, Ian posted a status on Facebook saying we're going to do a sit-down Q&A. Let's read some of these questions. This one is for you, Jason. What is it going to take for you to get competitive lean, and what obstacles have prevented you?
Dieting sucks, number one, and a ton of drugs sucks.
Why don't you let him finish the fucking question?
That was it.
Yep.
Dieting sucks.
And a ton of drugs. A ton of protein all day.
Ian, what can you do to help him? He's got a competition, the Ruby, which everyone knows about at this point at the end of September.
Well,
what can be done?
I think we all know the answer in terms of really generating the best outcome would be I just move in with Jason tonight and dictate everything that he eats and does in the gym between now and the Ruby.
He's shaking his head like Rachel Maddow.
Well, I am Rachel Maddow. That would explain all of the comments about me being gay and so on. It's perfect. Well, we're off to a great start. And by the way, not even necessarily me. Like, remember, because I just want to note, like, remember how good the progress was that Jason made heading into the 2015 Ruby with Andrew, the other Andrew, Koth Andrew, assisting with mostly with your training, I think. Jason made really good progress. So even if someone like Andrew were to have tighter control over what you were doing, I mean, like, the best gains or progress that you made with Adam was when he was really trying to micromanage everything.
No, I can't.
We're in the middle of an interview, Jane.
We're in the middle of the interview, sorry.
Serious stuff, Jane.
Yep.
Would you like to be a part of it? We're doing a Q&A with Koth McPhee and your son.
You're fucking on my video. Will you
Shut up!
Stop it, mother!
Have a good interview.
What are you drinking, Jane? What's in the cup?
Little wine. See?
Little wine, diluted with vodka.
No.
Reverse dilution.
Just wine and a piece of ice.
Very sophisticated.
I freeze my wine and use it as ice.
out of a solo red cup?
That's actually really... Wait a second. That's actually really smart. Freeze wine, and then... But it probably... I don't know.
You know what I wanted to show you? Pugs
Jesus Christ.
on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you have 2 pugs at home you can show
Yes,
them?
I do. No.
This is the
This
raw,
happens to be
uncut.
cute.
Jane, why don't you come in here and have a seat? Grab a chair.
Therapy interview.
Ruining it.
Stop it!
Mother. Stop.
All right, so we're talking about the Ruby and how Jason fell short.
But he made really good progress for about 8 weeks heading into the Ruby. From my recollection of it anyway, that was like everyone who was paying attention agreed that he made considerable progress. I think he had potentially a level of muscle mass heading into that show that he didn't have at the peak of the Adam era, and he was leaner at the peak of the Adam era. So yeah, I think assuming a certain minimal level of competence on the part of a coach, I think with Jason it is absolutely essential he has a coach to get into his best shape. I think that's completely unavoidable. I think that need not necessarily be me. I think there are many people who can do that, but greater the level of control, the better. Just because Jason, tends to struggle with organization and following through on, I think, things that he knows that are the best calls, which, I mean, I think all of us understand that on some level. It's just more significant with Jason. The last 2 meals Jason had prior to us coming here and having a 4th of July barbecue, I wanted McDonald's breakfast, and I mentioned that to him, and his immediate response was revulsion. He was like, no, bro, I don't eat that. And it was very sincere. And similarly, the night before we had IHOP, and he was searching through the menu for something healthy, and he literally said, this late at night, I probably shouldn't be having carbs. And I asked him, do you want hash browns or fruit? And he said fruit.
So Jason, you clearly are aware of what you should and shouldn't be eating or doing or whatever before the weeks and months leading up to a bodybuilding show. But sometimes...
I fall.
Why?
The taste of the food.
We did incline barbell press, we did flat dumbbell bench, some back stuff, 1 biceps exercise, very fucking basic. And if you were to write it down, probably wouldn't look impressive at all. But it was a blast. It felt to me the way way training felt in like 2010 when it was novel.
Well, I used to get asked, why did I used to follow you around the old world gym with a camera filming your videos? And my answer is very simple. It was fun. You can watch those old videos I used to film with Jason. Had a blast.
Right.
I mean, you never knew what he was going to say, what he was going to do, who he might get into a confrontation with, slamming weights. It was great entertainment, and I got to see it all in person.
I just find it extremely difficult. It's not like I seek out being, I hope I don't seek out being unhappy, but it's almost impossible to be unhappy around Jason. The only moments that get to me are moments where I feel for him as a friend, like if things aren't going well or if there's, you know, an issue comes up. But otherwise, he just lifts it for everyone.
The only time I can say being with Jason or around Jason can be very tedious is when the OCD flares up, when he'll ask the same question again and again and again, or text me or call me asking the same questions again and again and again. And you know, I know that's one thing Jason has tried to control over the years. It can be very tedious. I've learned how to deal with it.
I don't know what the answer is to that, but it's one thing. If you have 5 questions that are different questions, it can make sense to ask 5 questions. But if they are 5 variations of the same question, so they're essentially the same,
right.
You aren't benefiting. You are not benefiting.
It's asking the same question repeatedly until you receive the answer you want to hear.
Yeah.
And then,
that's what you'll tend to do.
And if you get the answer that you want, where does that then go? So it's just this.
That's right. Let's see, what else do we have here? What is your next major goal, Jason?
Get ripped.
Are you going to do it?
Yep.
Get ripped for what? For when?
Ruby 29, September 29.
Why is this year's Ruby going to be any different than past? Where you get down to like that 14 to 13% range, and then you either tap out, basically fail. But what are you going to do to break through that plateau, that barrier?
Change something up.
What? What's going to make this year's Ruby different?
Don't cheat on
Because it's coming. It's 3 months away.
Don't cheat on my diet.
Easy to say.
What are you going to change about how you approach things that will let you not cheat on your diet?
Like I'll say to myself, you know, I can't do this. I want to look good and I want to be a legend in the fitness world. I'm going to do it for myself.
Not to put you on the spot in an unfair way, but you had said, because we got Burger King for breakfast, you had said that you were going to eat like a pigeon tonight, and you probably ate like a pound of meat, which, by the way, on some level I respect that.
Eat a pigeon?
Yeah, so, or excuse me, eat like a pigeon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wow. And so, you know, there tends to be a disconnect between what you know you should do and what you say you're going to do, that those tend to be the same, but then what you actually do, something breaks.
Yeah.
That bridge hasn't been built, I feel like. And, you know, I get it. You know, a lot of the stuff like cleaning, like even when I open the blinds, I tend to always open some of them, but not all of them, because I literally get distracted. Mm-hmm. So I understand all that. But there also really is something to be said for, if I, Jason Genova, want to get shredded and look fucking amazing and the best I ever have on stage at the Ruby, you just have to do things that aren't going to be fun.
Miserable.
But see, that's not the way you, like, you're setting yourself up for failure by saying that you're going to be miserable. Like, I don't think you'll be miserable, you just won't be able to have croissant witches or whatever they're called. The fucking Burger King sandwiches that I bought for you, for the record.
Yeah.
I think it's delayed gratification. It is saying, no, I'm not going to do this thing now that's fun and that tastes good and so on. Because if I don't do this now, and I do this instead, on the tail end of all of this, it will pay off with something bigger. Because if you stepped on stage at even like 8% body fat with the muscle that you have right now, I hate to bring up this word, but the people who call you a monkey prick and all of this, those people would fucking cheer you on. I swear
I've told them this for years, Ian.
gut, there's something about the people who stick around, even stick around to hate. You know, I think most people deep down, even if they're critical, even the people who say I don't even lift and so on, if tomorrow I looked like Jay Cutler, they would say, holy shit, he looks amazing. I think most people want people to succeed, so if you get on stage at the Ruby and you look the best you have ever looked, it will be great for your fucking YouTube. It will be, you know, 100,000 views, whatever. It will be beneficial across the board.
Just to piggyback on what you said, Ian, Jason, honestly, how many times over the years have I told you, you would absolutely own YouTube and the online fitness community if you were to show up at one of these bodybuilding shows, you walked out on that stage and you're muscular and you're 8% body fat and you actually have a chance for that first place trophy. Don't think about the misery you have to go through to get there. Think about the prize. What would the prize be?
Gratification.
And I'm not talking a stupid plastic trophy. Think larger than that. What would it be? Not even just money. It would be shutting people up who have talked so much shit about you over the years, right? I mean, you've talked about getting bullied in in school and people calling you names. Think about all the shit people have talked about you on YouTube in the comment section over the years. Imagine being able to shut every single one of them up. It's not even about the money or the trophy or whatever, the views and subs.
Just shutting them up.
Just you can say, I finally shut all of you mother effers up. How would that make you feel if you did that?
Good.
It's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable, Jason. You hold those cards, man. I've told you this for years. We've had these phone conversations so often. Do you agree, Ian?
Oh yeah, 100%. One thought I had was the fact that so many years into this, with all that's happened, the fact that Andrew is here. I mean, Andrew has done a million times more for you than I have. Certainly location is one thing, but also the thought I had was Andrew is a better person than I am, so there you go. That's my assessment of the situation, but we can just put that out there.
I'll disagree with that one.
And I totally lost my... Oh, I was going to say, the fact that Andrew is here after everything, and Andrew is not a stupid guy or an unreasonable guy who just does things randomly. He's here because on some level, yeah, it's fun, but on some level he believes in you. And like, there are literally thousands of people, maybe tens of thousands. We can't... Everyone in the fitness industry, practically everyone, like Arnold Schwarzenegger probably knows at least your name, honestly. He might not know exactly and like watch your videos, but he's probably, like Dana Lynn Bailey, one of the most popular female fitness figures like in the world. Like her husband's music outsold Taylor Swift, that literally happened. Like these people know you, and like all of those people, except for the 5 total actual shitbags, would be so pumped to see you just break the cycle of some progress, regression, and you know, it's just like there's so many sayings like shit or get off the pot, or like it's like you're, again, this phrase like not, I don't want to say you're not doing anything, but just on some level it's like either decide that you're not going to do it at all, or do it with all of your being.
Yeah.
And you haven't exhausted that option of putting 100% of Jason Genova into it.
80%.
I hate to say this as your friend, and I have like overwhelming affection for you, but I think that a lot of the time it's like 30%. You said to me today, you know, part of why your condo is messy is laziness. Mm-hmm. And so laziness, you know, ADD, I don't want to open some big debate about whether or not, you know, I believe ADD to be a real condition that actually relates to the brain and so on. And from having seen you and me having it, I totally think you have it. I totally think that you probably deal with some loneliness and so on that makes life harder. But that laziness you can change. And I get it because I see it in myself, absolutely. I see it in others. I see it really incremental, you know, constantly doing little things to get better. Like don't even think about it as, oh, I'm going to be miserable for 3 months. Think about it as, at this meal, I am going to get fruit instead of hash browns. And you fucking did that last night in front of me, and that meant that I ate 200 or 300 calories that you didn't eat. And like, that was a good decision. Mm-hmm. And that was a very, very micro decision. And if you keep doing that and doing that and doing that, you know, you're not going to win the Ruby because you didn't eat hash browns one time. But if you don't eat hash browns 50 times, if you don't get Burger King 50 times, and you add all of that up, you could get on stage, I honestly think you could get on stage at like 185 and be the leanest that you've ever been, at least on stage. And you know, we don't have to get into the particulars of the numbers, but I honestly think you could keep your muscle, get the leanest you've ever been, and get on stage. And that Jason Genova smile, it is so quintessential that like no one else, you know, lights up like you. It's so, like that's part of it, the man of a million faces.
When we used to film the videos in the old world gym, a lot of times I would get there before him, and he'd walk into the gym. Boom, the door would fly open, and all right, let's film. I'm ready to work out. I'm going to train like an animal today. Say all that before we start filming. Is that still inside you?
Yes.
Where is it?
Broken inside.
How'd it break? What do you think broke it? You used to have it.
What do you think broke it?
I'm asking you. Don't look at Ian.
It broke it because...
honestly, where did it go, and how do you get it back?
I lost it, and I gotta get it back.
How?
Retrain myself. Back to basics.
It's not too late.
Fucking train like a barbarian.
You see what Lenny does before competitions? What is Lenny, 47, 48?
Yeah. It is miserable when he gets ready for contests.
I No. He does it. He gets into the best possible shape he can get into in his body.
Gotta do it.
So Ian, I have a question for you now.
Yeah.
Jason, over the years, has taken a ton of abuse in the comment section on YouTube and all that. Jason has a ton of fans. He's also got trolls. You've been on YouTube for a very long time yourself. I don't think you're active on YouTube that much now, but certainly as part of the YouTube fitness community, you've taken a ton of abuse as well. You've been DYEL, Mr. Science, McPop-Tarts, doesn't even look like he lifts. How have you dealt with all that over the years? Has that ever gotten to you?
Yeah, so to answer the last part first, it got to me a shitload in the past. I'm thinking 3 to 5 years ago in particular. I totally do not intend to frame myself as a victim, but I think that in terms of my subjective experience, it really exacerbated my depression, which, let's be very real, that speaks to a level of a lack of emotional resilience, I'll put it that way. For lack of a technical term, I didn't have the balls for it. To be completely honest, if I really try to view myself objectively, not, I am Ian talking about Ian, but kind of looking at myself as I would look at someone else, I think the majority of criticism I've received, maybe almost all of it to be honest, it was, if not completely justified, it was coming from a sincere place and had some reasonable basis. Like, when people say, Ian McCarthy looks like he still doesn't even lift, I'm not sure if it was on this taping or the previous one, like, if I looked like Jay Cutler, people wouldn't say Ian looks like he doesn't even lift. It would make no sense. There would be no reason for it. I get it, in other words. And, like, I actually endeavor to make fun of myself as much as possible, but knowing a lot of truth is said in jest, and there's at some point, it does become unreasonable.
By the way, I've heard that over the years as well, because I've appeared in a bunch of Jason's videos.
The DYEL
Yeah,
stuff.
of course. Glove with the wearing my workout gloves, Princess Andrew. So I'm familiar with all that.
Yeah, and that also speaks to the importance of contextualizing it. Like, they're not trying to be a bodybuilder. How old are you if you don't?
46.
Gotcha. People tell me that people are uncomfortable being asked their age, but then no one I ever ask is actually uncomfortable. Interesting.
No, I couldn't.
But yeah, like, you strike me as being in fantastic shape for your age. Have a particular kind of bias toward mental health, but both. Like, you just strike me as doing a really fucking good job in terms of taking care of yourself, especially at your age. The thought of, like, oh, he looks like he doesn't even lift, it doesn't even enter my mind, honestly. I might think, like, Andrew is taller and thinner than Jason. Like, literally a very objective kind of assessment like that. But yeah, I get it. I think I'm completely willing to say that if I had been doing all the things right, so much of what I just said to Jason, I could very much apply to myself. The nuances might be different. For example, I probably left gains on the table by not eating enough. I tend to undereat. There were also periods where somehow I really overate and gained a bunch of fat that I didn't need. And I did bro splits, meaning I trained in a way that I think now is not ideal for probably a couple more years than I should have, given the evidence that was available to me. And then at this point recently, I've been focused almost singularly on mental health. If you are on a semi-regular basis suicidally depressed, you're not particularly concerned with the fact that your chest is looking really flat. Fundamentally, I like the way I look, I think. When I look in the mirror as a bodybuilder, I am definitely unsatisfied. Like, for one thing, I can tell that I've gained some fat, and, like, I've been focused more on cardio. I think that helps with a lot of, like, dealing with high stimulant dosages for treating depression and all this shit that gets into all the medical stuff. So I've been doing a lot more cardio. It's also just been extremely enjoyable, but I don't think it's as productive for body composition. So I think I've gained some fat and lost some muscle, and I would always like to gain some muscle and lose some fat. But fundamentally, I'm happy with how I look, and I would say that I am a recreational, natural bodybuilder, if a bodybuilder at all. And yeah, I mean, if someone wants to say I look like I don't even lift or I don't make gains or whatever, I respect that. The only thing I would kind of know...
Do you consider Ian a bodybuilder, Jason?
I'm a fucking freak.
Yeah, he's a fucking freak.
I mean, in our very non-homosexual pose down that we did, the very first thing that happened when I got to his condo last night, I felt like I compared decently well. So literally the only thing I would say, kind of explicitly in my defense, is I do think it's not... I just think it's wrong to say that I haven't made progress, but I also understand why people say I look like I don't, because if you're evaluating me based on right now versus sitting in this chair 5 years ago, I'd probably look pretty much the same.
What do you weigh right now?
178, 180 maybe.
What's the most you've ever weighed?
When I was fat, I was gonna say, when I was very overweight, I was like 230.
If I get to 235, I'll be ready for that power to hit my stage.
I looked just grotesque. There was some body dysmorphia going on there in the direction of thinking fat is muscle. That was pretty terrible. One of my close friends honestly said to me, like, have you gotten your cholesterol and like blood pressure checked? I think the best I have ever, oh my God, no comment. I think the best I've ever looked, I was floated right, was about a year ago actually. I floated right around 182 or 184.
180, 185, 190, a little bigger.
So I was about 4 pounds heavier than I am now, and probably considerably leaner. That's kind of my goal of what I'm trying to get back to. Honestly, I want to gain probably in the 3 to 5 pound range.
Jason, I'm sure you can help Ian gain weight.
Juice.
Oh my gosh. I've been dealing with this weird thing of
Just inject yourself.
I would love to hear more about your motivation. I periodically will go through phases, or it might just even be one night of watching a few of the really old Jason videos. The passion of, you don't know science, I know science.
You don't know science, I know science.
Without wanting this to be a criticism, a certain kind of childlike confidence that's like super infectious and just like, I remember years and years and years ago, I would watch your stuff to get pumped up to the gym. Honestly.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, like.
Oh, absolutely.
That was like a regular.
It's leg day, bitches. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was back when people didn't even, like, I remember it being an ongoing controversy as to whether or not you were trolling. Like, literally, that's how, like, small everything was. And, like, no one knew, like, anything. And, but see, back then, you always said, I want to be an IFBB pro bodybuilder, I want to be an IFBB pro. So I'm wondering what
There's no money in it.
Is it all money now, Jason?
There's no money in it because you can't support yourself being in that sport anymore.
But then how come you wanted to do it back then? If you knew there was no money in it back then, how come?
Why?
Yeah.
Because it was different back then. People look better. They look over grotesque now. I don't like it. They don't have that classic look.
Too big.
Too big. Too big. I got grotesque body.
Do you feel like you would have to look grotesque too?
Yes.
So you feel like it's either that or like don't do bodybuilding?
I just don't think bodybuilding's like it used to be. It's more corrupt now.
How?
Politics.
That's a strong accusation.
Politics and who's the freakiest?
Can't you argue that any sport that's subjective with judges, is it to be some element of politics involved?
Yes, but they're
whether
more,
it's boxing.
but they're more freakier now. They look like freaking blown out guts.
Who's the biggest one now?
Phil Heath.
I thought you liked freaks. Like, don't you say like freaky? Like,
No, the only one I like is Dorian Yates.
okay.
He was the freak from my time.
So why do you want to do the Ruby this year? I mean, because
I just want to get in the best shape of my life and do it for myself. That's it.
Well, I think the original plan was to compete.
That is the fucking like. See that. I mean, if there is such a thing as a right answer, in my mind, that's the answer.
Do it for myself. Don't do it for anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, even like Andrew, with all due respect, what you had said about like show the haters, shut them up. Like, I totally understand that, but notice how that's still on some level external. Like, shut up the hate. And maybe that's totally the right thing. Maybe some people need to be shut up. But in my mind, that still doesn't speak to like what's going on in your own head that makes it worthwhile.
I get it. I understand your point completely.
Do it for myself. Nobody else.
And you're known there, and you have people that come to continually see you.
No, I want to do it for myself. I want to get under 10% body fat. I've got very close to it, and I don't want to get.
Yeah, when you were with Adam, you were really sucked up.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. What happens if you make good progress, but you start getting
Jesus Christ, you're still going?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a 40-minute video with like...
It's looking like it.
What if you were to make good progress and then you start feeling like shit? What do? Like being really honest with yourself and see, weirdly, you don't even matter.
Well,
Be honest with yourself.
Feeling
What
like
are you
shit?
going to do if you feel like shit?
Say I have to do it for myself, nobody else.
And is that good enough? Is that going to work for you?
It's going to work for me.
That's partially what happened with Adam Harper. It got difficult. Jason started looking very good, but Jason would come into the gym. I'm these burpees. This hurts, that hurts. It was rough.
He was like 178 pounds.
Yes.
And he looked really good.
The goal was 170.
It was too quick.
Correct. I agree.
Because
So like a crash.
if you
It was like
lose-
a crash.
If you lose weight in a slow process over time and you have patience, then you would look good because you'd be able to preserve muscle mass. But the way he was doing it quick, doing a lot of cardio, and he was burning way too many calories, too fast. Like when you do that, you lose weight too.
Hey, listen, the name of his company
become
was
skinny.
the name of his company was Get Fit Fast.
Yeah.
And that was the program he put Jason on. It was a crash course.
For the record, not that I'm perceiving this as like, anyone attacking Adam, but knowing how your fans are and how like very thorough they are, they can go back. I know there's that video where Adam laid out your diet. As I recall, Adam was fairly conservative initially, and the 600 trillion burpees per minute thing that like worked, but also really wiped you out. And by the way, fucked up your hip, which a friend of mine who's a physician's assistant
his
saw.
neck too.
Yeah, like that.
I had to
like,
take him to the doctor like 5 times.
Yeah,
Was it for that?
I don't think Jason was faking that. That was a legitimate overuse injury. But that wasn't Adam.
Well, Adam
just,
was cool. Adam was cool. He had
Adam
some
was
really good concepts.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing that to cope, or
And you know
as
what?
a fallback.
He gave Jason a lot of self-confidence, because I'm going to back that up, and I really don't want to be in this, but whatever.
Too late.
I don't want to interrupt.
You're not interrupting anything. You're his mother. You have every right to say whatever you want.
Thank you. He gave Jason a lot of confidence because he boosted him up. He had him, he was so excited. He was like twitching like this when he met Richard the sparring. And he set all of that up for him. And I thought that was, I was there the day that we all met. I thought that was fantastic.
Ronnie Coleman too. He got in a meeting, right?
Yeah. No, I mean Adam
Adam is a cool guy. I like him. I do. But it's just.
Yeah.
Jason got obsessed with the burn. He got burned out with the, he crashed. It crashed too much.
The bridge broke.
This was funny. This is really fun. You know this, Andrew.
Let's hear it.
Adam used to come over when Jason was at work in the Publix parking lot.
Check his wallet for receipts.
Check his car for like wrappers of Burger
That's
King,
right.
and check his wallet for the receipts of some of the junk he would eat.
And 4 out of 5 times he would find receipts from places that he shouldn't have been finding them from.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See, Jason, that is the thing, is like, this is a topic of ongoing controversy online and in person. I mean, this is a weird way to phrase it, but basically as long as you're around and particularly making content, people are going to debate where's the line between, the disabilities you have and then just conscious decisions you're making. Realize you're shooting yourself in the foot when you go to Dunkin' Donuts for water, and the water happens to be donut shaped and have flour and sugar and fat in it. Because it's just like, I get it, like, donuts are my favorite food, but it's like, is it worth it when you have a clear bowl?
Oh, Jason comes to Mom's house to drink all of my drinks. Drink, water buffalo, drink.
As long as it's not the alcohol, who gives a shit.
No, you don't know. We're not making fun of you, Jason.
I know.
We're yakking. Just conversing.
Long-time old friends having a
He's not
conversation.
even listening anyway.
I'm listening.
You're not.
Yes, I am.
He's thinking, how many
Andrew.
views will this video get?
What did we talk about the other day, Andrew? Let's see if Jason remembers when you and I were together.
No, I'm not talking about online.
Do you want to talk about that on
Jason
camera?
remember? No. Does Jason remember? No, ask him if he remembers.
Yes, I remember.
Okay.
You sure?
That's it. No.
Okay. I'll refresh his memory every morning in the gym, don't worry. I'll write it on a baseball bat and hit him over the head with it if I have to.
So, tomorrow?
Yeah, what about tomorrow? Tomorrow.
You know what tomorrow is?
A workout video tomorrow.
Yes. Dude, seriously.
What about tomorrow?
Take advantage of Andrew.
Tomorrow?
In the
What
good
about
way.
tomorrow?
Diet starts.
For what?
Bodybuilding.
Why?
Because I have to come out the best shape of my life.
No,
Why?
it should start now. Like, before you go to bed, you should have 2 scoops of a high-quality protein powder.
I have it at home.
Like, seriously, pour water in a shaker. Okay, we need to buy you a fucking new shaker because you're gonna die. Like, seriously, like, no.
He's probably so immune to whatever
How?
bacteria is growing on that stuff.
It's like, literally, pour water in or whatever, just something with no calories in it, 2 scoops of a high-quality protein powder, you have about 4 tubs in there, shake it up, drink it, go to sleep. Take melatonin, or whatever you have to do to actually sleep.
No, he has to lay off the caffeine drinks if he wants to sleep.
I think that's part of it.
That's a major part of
Let me tell
it.
you something. So here's the deal.
I'm listening.
Diet starts tomorrow. I have 12 weeks to get in the best shape of my life.
All right. I've heard this before, Chief.
I've got close.
Well, why is it going to be different this time?
Because I'm going to change
You have
it.
all of July, all of August. Ian, can you come down here for a month in September?
Literally the only question is work related. So I don't want to say yes in terms of that's me giving my word that I'm going to do something, but I strongly desire to do it, and I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. And like ideally, and I mean obviously this would, you know, Jane, it would require your permission certainly, but we've been discussing the possibility of me staying with Jason for a month to train him and help him with the combo.
We'll talk about it.
So, you know,
Jane, you smell good. What perfume are you wearing?
Thank you. You smell it this far away?
I sure do.
I am wearing Tonight Escape by Calvin Klein.
Very nice.
Jason never compliments me.
Thank you, Mother. You're looking nice.
What's your favorite?
The Car Noir.
Dracar Noir.
Yep.
By Guy LaRoche.
I think Adam bought that for you on your birthday or something.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, see, I remember that.
I remember that, yeah.
7-part birthday video, yeah.
I just bought
I think that's when they went out bowling, if I remember
And
correctly.
I just
everyone-
bought you a bottle.
Right, and everyone was like, Bree is being so nice to Jason.
And you know what else? What else is your favorite that we go shopping for once in a while?
I don't know, the Bermuda.
Chrome,
Chrome.
Azaro.
Jason, you want to know what the panty dropper is?
What?
Being shredded.
Fahrenheit. Oh, delicious, Jane. Just keep wafting it in my direction. Oh, outstanding. I'm wearing Dial soap, Jane. That's what I showered
We
with.
have to get you something.
Oh, I have.
You
Yeah.
like cologne?
I wear Fahrenheit when the occasion
that's
calls.
good.
When the occasion calls for it, I wear Fahrenheit. I'm not a cologne person though. What'd you say, Chief?
I want to be pinworm.
You want to be him or beat him?
Beat him.
Is he even coming?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Average rich.
Because every time I see you in the gym in the mornings in LA, I don't think he's really coming to
We'll
Ruby.
see when I believe it.
You'll believe it when you see it.
Yeah.
Okay, close enough. All right, so this has been interesting. Ian, it was great catching up with you. It's funny how I texted Ian Monday morning to ask him if he wanted to call into the podcast. And as they'd say on Seinfeld, yada, yada, yada. 20 minutes later, he texted me, well, I just booked a flight to Miami. I'm like, wait, what? This escalated quickly. And
I'm laughing because that immediately struck me as something Jason would do, and I really don't mean that as like making fun of you, but like, yeah, I was telling Andrew I was not even fully conscious in having that discussion, but yeah, and I've had.
That was what I meant when I said to you in Jason's video. I was like, book a damn trip someplace, get away from your problems, get away from your element and your environment, and just do something on a whim. And Ian did it. You having a good time?
No, it's terrible. No, it's been. I mean, even just like, I legit gave Jason a hug leaving the gym because I was just like, this is a fucking blast.
When's the last time you saw him? Last time you were down here?
September 2016.
That was Driiiink.
Which was kind of the same thing. No, it was.
I think so.
No, it wasn't. It was.
You sure?
Because we just went like literally. It was kind of the same thing. Of went to an Italian restaurant, and then we were gone.
I remember
that
now.
time.
You stayed in Miami.
Yeah, and it was
Okay.
super. We were with some other friends, so it was.
That's right.
You know, focusing on doing what they wanted to do as well, but yeah, that. So I really feel it. I feel like this has to be the twice-a-year trip minimum. That's like the baseline.
Yeah.
So that's
A month will be fun with you. The coach Ian's gonna step in the house for a whole month.
That would be fantastic. Ideally, I will be able to try to sleep not on the couch.
Ian, I have a new theme song for you with respect to Jason. You know the song "If I Can't Do It" by 50 Cent? If I can't do it, it can't be done. So, if you can't stay here for a prolonged period of time and get Jason into shape, I really don't know who can.
No pressure, but no,
I'm putting pressure.
I'm excited.
I'm putting some heat on you, Ian.
No, that's the way to do it.
What do you think, Jason?
He's gonna be living with me a month.
Well, we'll see.
I
Ian might have to get some immunizations. Immunizations.
Immunizations, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, no, well, we will just completely remove the kitchen and just remodel all of that, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get back inside, have some food. Hope everybody enjoyed this little Q&A with the whole crew. 4th of July. Give us a vociferous one, Jason.
Peace out. Bye.
There you